Good evening and welcome to Kini News. The DAP has been called many things by their rivals, from racist to chauvinist, and now one more was added to that list when former Prime Minister Dr Mahathir Mohamad labelled them as an extreme party just yesterday.
DAP has responded to a claim by former Prime Minister Dr Mahathir Mohamad that the party is extreme. In a statement today, DAP Secretary General Lim Guan Eng said that Mahathir's characterization of the DAP was wrong, baseless and misguided. Lim said, history and facts prove that DAP is a multiracial party that seeks to represent all Malaysians regardless of race and religion. And the party has never discriminated or taken any stand harmful to the rights and interests of Malaysians, regardless of race or religion. On the contrary, he said DAP leaders had gone to prison for defending the rights of both Malays and non-Malays. He added that Mahathir is also misguided when he fails to see the DAP is inclusive and has elected representatives from all major ethnic groups. Yesterday, Mahathir had been asked for his views on Pasir Salau MP Tajuddin Abdul Rahman's reported remarks that it would be possible for UMNO to work with the DAP if the party becomes more moderate. In response, Mahathir said it is possible for UMNO to work together with the DAP if it can work with the MCA that was once also seen as an extreme party. Mahathir said that he had also worked with DAP that is sometimes extreme. MCA Secretary General Chong Sin Woon had also responded to Mahathir's remarks. Chong was quoted as saying by Free Malaysia Today last night that they had always advocated the middle path. He added that for Mahathir, everyone was extreme but himself, and to let Malaysians judge for themselves.
The implementation of Undi 18, which was supposedly delayed to next year, has garnered quite a bit of backlash from both sides of the political divide, to the point that PKR's Fahmi Fadzil believes that the Perikatan Nasional government could be making a U-turn on that postponement. PKR Communications Director Fahmi Fadzil said there was no reason to delay the implementation of the 18-year-old voting age and automatic voter registration process. According to Fahmi, all the systems are already in place to allow for 18-year-olds to register to vote, and it should be implemented immediately. Fahmi added that there are signs that the Perikatan Nasional government could make a U-turn on the decision to delay the implementation.
Well, I think they were scared, but then they became scared that there were a lot of people coming out to protest. That's why we've seen there's an about face, U-turn, as given by the Secretary General of Bersatu, suddenly saying EC must swiftly implement Undi 18. So that is the clearest signal that they are about to do an about turn, a U-turn. But it's this government which is teetering on collapsing. Evidently is easy to do U-turn, very easy. So we hope they do this for the sake of the rakyat.
So you do see a U-turn coming from the PN government?
I think so.
Yesterday, Bernama reported that Bersatu had called for the Election Commission to speed up the implementation of the bill. Bersatu Secretary General Hamzah Zainuddin said that the move was necessary to recognize the role and involvement of the youth in politics. Previously, the Election Commission announced that they had decided to postpone the implementation of Undi 18, including automatic voter registration, to September 1st next year. The EC said preparations had been affected by the movement control order. The postponement is likely to result in 1.2 million 18 to 20-year-olds being unable to vote in the 15th general election if it is called this year. This is despite the fact that constitutional amendments for it were gazetted into law in 2019. The government has come under intense criticism from both sides of the political divide over this delay. Members of Parliament have received their second dose of the COVID-19 vaccine, and thus DAP's Teresa Kok believes that it is safe for them to get back to work. By that she means for them to return to Parliament. Several Pakatan Harapan MPs have called for Parliament to reconvene as it is now safe enough for sittings to be held. Seputeh MP Teresa Kok pointed out that spectators will be allowed in stadiums from the 6th of April, and it made no sense that MPs are still not allowed to carry out their duties. Teresa added that the excuse that most MPs belong to high-risk groups cannot be used anymore as MPs have been fully vaccinated.
Now, most of us have taken the second dose of the vaccine. Why can't the Parliament be open? Earlier on, the minister said because many of us are above 60 years old, that's why we belong to the high-risk group. So now, second dose of vaccination have been carried out, and most MPs have done that, even the Prime Minister. I think it's high time for us to demand the Prime Minister to open the Parliament.
She said this when met at the Kuala Lumpur Health Clinic today, where several MPs had received their second COVID-19 jab. Meanwhile, Satyawangsa MP Nik Nazmi Nik Ahmad said that even before this, Parliament had convened with strict standard operating procedures. MPs took the COVID-19 test every 2 weeks. There was social distancing, glass screens and other precautions also taken during the debates. He said many other economic and social activities, including schools, have been allowed to operate, so there is no reason for Parliament to remain closed.
我的大哥, or in English, my big brother. That's what Foreign Minister Hishamuddin Hussein said to Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi during a diplomatic visit. Now, Hisham claims it was a personal address, but DAP's Lim Guan Eng is wondering why UMNO and PAS has not said anything about it just yet.
Kepong MP Lim Guan Eng has questioned why PAS and UMNO were silent on Foreign Minister Hishamuddin Hussein's big brother remark. In a statement today, he said although Malaysia and China have good diplomatic relations, such titles should not be used, especially on the international stage. He said, when Pakatan Harapan was in power, they were often attacked by UMNO and PAS, who would call them defenders or advocates of communists when they cooperated with the Chinese government, even at the diplomatic capacity. He added that none of the UMNO and PAS leaders have questioned Hishamuddin's actions and questioned if their stance against communists had been a show all this while. According to Lim, if such a statement was issued by any DAP minister such as Anthony Loke or Lim Guan Eng when Harapan ruled, they would definitely have suffered severe attacks. He speculated that under such circumstances, there might even be calls by certain parties to deprive the MPs of their citizenship and possibly deregister DAP because of supposedly communist elements. He noted that Hishamuddin had explained on his Twitter page that it was a personal address to Chinese Minister Wang Yi and not about bilateral relations between Malaysia and China. However, Lim said Hishamuddin's visit at that time was an official and recorded diplomatic ceremony in front of the world media, and his visit was not privately funded. It was funded by the government, so he had to follow the diplomatic protocols that are in place.
Shellfish, red meat, and beer. If you love indulging in these foods, you may end up with high uric acid level in your blood. These foods consist high level of purine, a substance that will eventually break down into uric acid and be excreted through our urine. It is recommended that the amount of dietary purines should be kept between 600 to 1000 milligrams per day. Having too much uric acid in your blood can cause attacks of gout. It can also cause kidney stones and blockage in the kidney. The crystallization of the excessive uric acid in your blood can be eased by reducing purine-rich food to only 100 to 150 milligrams daily, maintaining a healthy lifestyle, and consuming urinary alkalinizer like Ural. It consists of sodium bicarbonate, citric acid, and sodium citrate that increases the urinary pH and solubility of uric acid to prevent crystallization. Best of all, it's lemon-flavored and sugar-free. Ural, effective urinary alkalinizer. Neutralize your uric acid problem now.
Science, Technology and Innovation Minister Khairi Jamaluddin says that the government could consider further options to increase the registration for the COVID-19 vaccine if supply overtakes demand.
Science, Technology and Innovation Minister Khairi Jamaluddin said that the government could reconsider the vaccine registration policy if the sign-up rate for COVID-19 vaccination is not satisfactory by July. He said this at a joint press conference with the Health Minister Dr Adam Baba on the National COVID-19 Immunization Programme.
I would say we will have to reassess the level of registration in July of this year. And I say July because at the moment, supplies, demand is more than supply. The supply schedule is still gradual at this point in time. But the delivery schedule is set to increase tremendously in July. And if we see that supply overtakes demand, and that will start in around about July and August when we have millions of doses coming on a monthly basis, then we will consider some further options in trying to increase the registration.
Kyrie was responding to a question on whether the government will change its voluntary vaccine registration policy to compulsory vaccination for certain high-risk groups if the rate of registration does not keep up with the government's target for herd immunity. Meanwhile, the Health Ministry today reported 1,070 new cases of COVID-19. The most number of new cases was reported in Selangor, which had 327 cases, followed by Sarawak with 225.
And that's a wrap for this evening. For more stories, you'll find them at kinitv.com. Don't forget, you can also follow us on social media on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook, for we also post the latest news updates over there. Now, before we go, if you would like to support the independent media, do consider a subscription to MalaysiaKini.com. You can go to the subscription page on Malaysia Kini, and we have some subscription deals waiting for you right there. If you're heading out, don't forget your mask. And when you can, do try to stay home. I'm Daniel Anthony. Thank you for watching, and as always, stay safe, Malaysia.